Welcome to the Root of Power podcast, where I teach you how to step into your power, find alignment, and create a life that you love using holistic methods, interviews with industry leaders, and inspiring stories from people who know that true freedom is found within. I'm your host and health and wellness bestie, Amanda Chills, and I'm so proud of you for choosing to step into the root of your power. All right. Hello, podcast fam. I feel like I need a new way to start this podcast, but I feel like saying hello is the best way. So I don't know if you guys want me to change it up. I guess let me know if you want me to do a little jingle or something. Go ahead and tell me. In the comments or at some point, tell me that you're like, hey, Amanda, you're stale. 10-day-old Cuban bread. Then I will do something more fun for you. But anywho's, it's hello. I hope you are well. I hope you are thriving. I hope you are chasing your dreams. Maybe we're not there yet, but I hope that you get there. I think that's always a journey anyway. And I don't know that we ever arrive at our dreams because humans are funny little gremlins. So we'll just move the goalpost. If you're struggling to do that, if you don't really know how to set goals or how to reach them or really what to prioritize or what to do first, shoot me a message. Maybe we can talk about that. Not that you have to. You don't have to do anything that I say, but if you want some support, I'm here for it. So that is kind of a good segue. Oh, sometimes I'm smart, guys. That's a good segue into today, where I want to talk about faith. And I want to give you guys a story about why I'm even talking about this topic, because it's something that I've thought about for a few weeks now and is a little confusing. So I am dating a guy named David, who is absolute gem of a human being. We love him. We adore him. He is just wonderful. And he's going through his entrepreneurial journey. So he's been an employee for a really long time. He's worked for the same company for 10 years. And he decided he wants to open a business. So I've really watched him go from employee mindset, safety. He grew up with a lot of safety rhetoric. Always planning for the worst thing. Always, having 10 backup plans, things like that. Which is, if you guys know me in real life, or if you may be able to tell, I plan for things, but only to a certain amount. And then I leave a lot of room for magic to happen. And I only deal with problems when they become a problem. So I don't really experience a lot of anxiety. Not in that sense. I may be anxious or overwhelmed about something, but I don't really doomsday prophesize. I don't do that. I'm not like, oh my God, the worst case scenario. And I've decided it's going to happen. And now it's going to happen. So it's been really, really interesting to watch someone like David go through their entrepreneurial journey and decide to take action on their dreams. And one of the things that I really noticed, so David is religious. He goes to church, grew up in church, has gone to church forever. One of the things that is really interesting to me is people who say that they have faith, that they have a big belief in God, that they trust God, that they have a higher power that they believe in, universe, spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it. But then when it comes to things like chasing their dreams, like taking action, like doing something scary that's outside of their comfort zone, or when things don't work out, they get upset and they start to question, why me? Why doesn't anything work out for me? Why can't I ever have what I want? Why aren't things easy? Things are always so hard. I can't do it. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if I look like an idiot? What if I have to tell people that I failed? And it's such an interesting difference to me because I'm not religious. I don't go to church. It's just not for me, right? I believe in higher power. I believe in source. I believe in universe, but I don't go to church and I don't subscribe to the traditional Christian white Anglo-Saxon Protestant belief system. But what's really interesting to me is that when I think about faith in terms of your ability to believe in yourself, to believe that things work out, as they should, to believe that things are okay, that they're going to be okay. It's a really interesting dynamic because even though I don't have a lot of quote unquote faith in God, faith in the Christian God, faith in the WASP, type Christianity, I have a lot more faith in universe, in myself, in the fact that things are going to work out. So I'll give you an example of that. So I started my own business. It's gone well. It's lovely. And there are some opportunities that I really wanted, that I planned for, that I worked for, that I dreamed about, that I took action towards. And they didn't work out. They didn't work out for a number of reasons. There were organizations I wanted to join that door closed. I wasn't allowed to. There were opportunities that I very much wanted, thought would be very fun, and that I would do well in, that were a no. They were a no. And instead of me complaining and whining and banging on a closed door and crying about it and crying out and questioning why good things don't happen to me and why I can't have the things that I want and all those things, I just said, okay, those things are not for me. And I moved on to the next thing, which I think is such a good example of faith. So when a lot of people talk about faith, they say, well, you take a leap of faith and I love that analogy because it really, when you take a leap, they don't say you take a leap of faith when you feel fully prepared, when you have your parachute ready, when you have 99,000 exit strategies and plans, and what if these go wrong? And they don't say you take a leap of faith when you feel comfortable. They just say you take a leap of faith. And I add one more thing. I say you leap and you build your wings on the way down. You have faith in yourself that you can either succeed or withstand the failure. You're going to be okay. Even if it's not the way that you want, you're going to be okay. You will survive. And so many people, and this is why I want to talk about it, because I run into so many people and I work with so many people and I watch so many people who don't practice their faith. And it is a practice. You have to practice believing that things are going to work out, that you'll be okay. You have to be grateful that the things that pass you have passed you. And part of having faith is understanding that the things that are for you will never pass you. And the things that are not meant to be yours will never be yours. And you should be grateful for those things too. I had a client who went through a lot of transitions and desperately wanted some things that passed them, that were not for them. And it was painful. It was painful as hell. It was so painful because they so desperately wanted these things, and they really thought that these were the right things, and this is what they wanted. So desperately wanted these things. And when we got to the space where, a few months removed, they're now on a much better path. They really have some perspective and some distance on why those things didn't work out. They quite literally told me, thank God those things didn't work out. Thank God I didn't get what I thought I wanted, even though it was so painful in the moment. And I thought, what a beautiful example of faith. To be grateful even when things don't work out. To be grateful even when things don't go your way. Because you have faith that those things were not meant for you. That better things are coming. That what is yours will always be yours if you are in alignment and doing the work. And I think not having faith puts us out of alignment, because a lot of people I work with and a lot of people I know want to wait until they feel confident to take action. And it's actually backwards. Confidence, clarity, faith, what have you, comes from taking action. You have to learn to survive failure in order to have faith that you can survive failure. I had a client over the weekend talk to me about something they're going through, and they said, I don't know that I can survive this. I don't know that I can survive this. And I told them, well, your track record so far for surviving is 100%. That doesn't mean that you enjoy surviving. It doesn't mean it's not hard as fuck. It doesn't mean that you would want to do it again. It means that your survival record, your ability to continue to be alive, to rebuild, is 100%. And when we put things in those terms, when we really look at what you've been through and what you've survived, it's pretty obvious that your track record is 100% because you're still here. Even if you feel like those things broke you, even if you feel like those things in the moment were going to kill you, they didn't. Unless you're a ghost listening to this podcast, in which case you're the outlier. Like, I don't know what to do with that one. So if you're a ghost, let me know. That's cool. Although I don't know how you let people know that you're a ghost because you can't like physically do things. Anyway. Oh, now I got lost on ghost. Okay. Your track record for surviving things that you thought would kill you is 100%, which is a good track record. So when we look at what we've been through, it's pretty easy to say, well, if I've survived those things, I can survive these things. Because you can. You can. Whether you think you can or not, you can. Faith is a practice. It comes from action. Confidence comes from action. Confidence and faith are so closely linked. Because if you have confidence that you can survive something, you have faith that you can survive something. And the beautiful thing is both of them are built from action. One of my favorite sayings is that faith moves mountains. But I think it's missing something. Faith moves mountains if you do the work to move a mountain. You can't just stand at the base of a mountain praying and saying, I have faith this mountain will move. I have faith this mountain will move. And then never actually do the work to move the earth. You have to do the work. Faith is a direct product of that. If you're waiting to have faith to do the work, then you don't actually have faith. It's fake and you're lying. Which is harsh, and I know it's harsh. But my job isn't to be nice. My job is to be honest. If you are waiting to have faith to do the work, you don't have faith. Because you're waiting for an external source to be able to do the work. You can do it now. You can start now. You can do something now. That's actual faith. Faith takes the action. Then you feel confident. And I really don't understand like people who say they want something or people who say they have faith or they believe. Specifically, I run into it a lot with people who say they believe in God and that they trust God and they give it to God and everything works out and because God, God supports you. But then they don't take the action to change things or to chase things that they want. Like they don't do that. And so can you really say you have faith if you don't trust that things are going to work out for you, even if they're not working out the way you wanted? Where is your faith then? If your faith is only, oh, I believe it when I get what I want, you don't have faith, you're spoiled. You're spoiled. Faith says, even when I don't get what I want, I'm grateful. It must not have been meant for me. For whatever reason, it must not have been meant for me. Faith says, if I do the work, if I put in the work, things happen. Whether they're the things you want to happen or not, if you put in the work, things happen. We can't control the outcome, which is where having faith comes in. If you're a control freak, you have no faith. You don't, because you think you have to control everything and influence the outcome. You have no faith if you're a control freak. If you have anxiety, that is a lack of faith in yourself, in the universe. And maybe you have very good reason. Maybe you're like, listen, nothing has ever worked out for me. My whole life is a shitstorm. Okay. Maybe part of it is a shitstorm because you refuse to give up control and to just do the work and release the outcome. When you have real faith, you're grateful in the hurricane and you're grateful when the sun shines, because both are for you. So I really, I just want you to think about that. How can you say you have faith if you're not grateful when things go well, when you think things go well, and when you think things go poorly? And I want to talk a little bit about the opposite of faith, which is fear. Now, we always have two choices, because we always have two choices. We always have multiple, but we always have at least two. And I call it feeding the monster. You can either feed your faith monster, or you can feed your fear monster. And when you're in this anxiety space, when you're in this, what could go wrong? I have to make plans for it. I have to control. I have to obsessively worry about something so that I feel like I can deal with it, so that I feel like I have a plan. This is what I have to do. You are feeding the wrong monster. First of all, you're training your brain to obsess and to be anxious and to literally not have faith. Because if you need a plan for every letter of the alphabet, that's because you don't think you can do it in the moment, but you can. You absolutely can. I know that because you have lived this long. And no matter how many plans you make, you cannot make a plan for everything that could potentially go wrong. That's just not real. So I was telling, I had a friend get some anxiety-inducing news last night, and they just spiraled. Oh my God, spiraled. And I was like, listen, you are going to make yourself sick. You're going to make yourself sick. And then you can't solve your fucking problem because you're sick. So the goal is to worry about a problem when it's a problem and have faith that you can get through it. Have faith that whatever comes your way, you can get through it. I know that you can, again, because your track record is 100%. You have gotten through everything that's ever happened to you because you're still here. So I have faith in you because I already know that you've survived 100% of the things that have happened to you. But this is why faith is a practice, because you have to choose which monster to feed. You choose to believe that things work out the way they're supposed to. You choose to believe that you can withstand it. You choose to believe that not only can you withstand it, you can survive it, you can do something with it, and you can learn and grow from it. Or you choose to believe that it's going to crush you, that it's life-ending, that you can't survive it, which again is literally not true. It's literally not true because you've survived everything up until this point. And I really want to question which monster you're feeding, because if you're feeding fear, don't tell me that you have faith, because you're lying. You're lying. Let's just call it out and be honest about it. If you're like, well, I don't think I can do that, you're just fucking lying. Don't tell me you have faith. If you're not chasing your dreams, if you're not growing, if you're not taking risks, you have no faith and you are lying. Just be honest about it. So you can say, oh, okay, shit. I don't have any faith. I need to work on that. If we need to work on it, what do we do? If you're like, Amanda, you're yawning. Why are you tired though? Different question. But how do we build faith? Now, the number one thing is that you pray. But even more specifically, doesn't have to be to God, doesn't have to be to source or universe, or pray to anything. Pray to anything that you like. I'm going to add a specifier, which I don't really know if that's a word, but that's what we're going to call it. A specifier or a specific, I don't know, whatever the word is. Tell me if you know what it is. I'm going to add that you pray for the things you do want, because what worry does is it forces you to pray for what you don't want. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. But what's happening is you're still sending out that energy into the universe. So if we just flip it and you say, well, I don't want to lose my house. If we flip that and we say, I want to keep my house. I want to be able to pay the mortgage on my house. I want to make this month's payment on my house. Now you're praying for what you do want. And when you're that level of specific, the universe tends to conspire for you. God conspires for you. Source conspires for you. So you pray. But even more specifically, you pray for what you do want. And then, because faith can move mountains, but only if you physically move a mountain, you take the actions that you need to take for that to come true. You can't say, I want to start a business, and then never actually start a business, because one is not just going to be handed to you out of thin air. That's not how it works. God helps those who help themselves, right? So many of these things are tied in. The universe shows up when you're doing the work. The universe shows up when you're in alignment. When you're in the right space, then things happen for you. But if you're doing nothing, if you're just saying you want something, you're not doing any work, you're not going to get it. And that's on you. That's 100% you. You have to do the work. That is a true test of faith. Can you do the work and have faith that the results will come? That is real faith. Another way is that you're generous, right? If you have a scarcity mindset, meaning you think there's only so much good in the universe, there's only so much happiness, there's only so much money, there's only so many customers, there's only so much success, everything is a pie and it can never be expanded upon, because if somebody else gets more, then I automatically get less. That's a scarcity mindset. Well, then you're not going to be generous, you're going to protect. And protection is the opposite of faith. Because if you're protecting, if you're hiding, if you're divvying up, whatever that word is, I can't think of it right now, where you like divvy up a thing and you only give so much to certain people instead of giving everything, and trusting and having faith that more will come, having faith that you can produce more, that you can do more, that success will come to you. If you're not generous, well, you're automatically in a scarcity mindset, which means you don't have faith because you're afraid. You're afraid that somebody else's success means you can't have it. Somebody else using a service means there's less for you. Somebody else doing this thing means you can't have it, right? There's more than enough for everyone. So generosity and abundance go hand in hand. If you're generous, if you come from an abundance mindset where there's more than enough, there's always more, then you are naturally in a receiving state, because what you want, you have to give. If you want money, you better not be scarce with your money. If you want knowledge, you better share your knowledge. If you want love, you better share love, because when you're giving, when you're generous, when you're abundant, when you understand that abundance is the nature of the universe, that there's more than enough, that things always show up for you, that is faith. That is such a test of faith. What do you do with your money and your time and your love? Are you generous? Are you abundant? Your knowledge, do you give it away? Not that you have to give all your money away, right? Or all your knowledge away, but do you share? Because if you don't believe there's more than enough, if you don't believe there's a spot for you or that more will come, then you have no faith. So another way is to get inspired, right? Look at your social media feed. I think most people would be surprised with the amount of people that I talk to about social media and about curating their feed. If there are people on there who make you feel like shit, stop following them. Follow people that are inspiring and choose to have faith that what you want, you can work for. Is it going to look exactly like that person's? No, because everybody's journey is different. But what is yours, what is meant for you, will always be yours if you do the work to get it. Which leads us into our next point, which is take action. Again, faith can move mountains, but you have to move the mountain. It's not just going to grow legs and walk. You have to do the work. Doing the work proves that you have faith, because you have faith enough to start. You have faith enough to keep going. You have faith enough to put the work in. If you're waiting to feel confident to have proof that things will work out before you work, bro, you don't have faith. Like, it's not real. It's not real. It's fake. One of the things that can help you get into that mindset is affirmations, to say, I deserve abundance. I am abundant. I am an endless well. Things work out. I worry about things when they're a problem and not before. I will survive. It will be okay. Those things were not meant for me, and I'm grateful that they weren't meant for me. You don't want the things that are not meant for you, and you can go kicking or screaming, or you can walk in gratitude. But still, you will go where things are meant for you. So that's how we build faith. That's how we practice faith. And if you guys don't hear most of what I say today, which I hope you do, because it's a huge, huge difference when you start having faith in yourself and in the universe's ability to take care of you, or God's, or source, or whatever you say. It's take action. When you take action, you are proving that you have faith. Even if you don't have all the answers, even if you don't know the outcome, do the work. And everything works out how it's supposed to, whether you win or lose. Everything works out how it's supposed to. So if you guys have questions on that, if you agree, if you disagree, if you're like, that's a load of crap, or if you're like, that's a load of gold, let me know either way. I'm always interested what people think. So I hope you are well. I hope you are taking action. If you don't know what to do, shoot me a message. I'm happy to help. Or if you have any ideas for the next episode, just shoot your girl a message on Instagram. But if you could do me a favor, actually, because this is something that's I've been wanting to do and is kind of interesting. If you could screenshot when you're listening to the episode and then tag me on Instagram, that would be dope. It's a super, super good way to get people to even know that the podcast exists. And also, I just really like to see it because I like when I hang out with you guys. So take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram if you don't mind. And I hope you're good. All right, go get some faith. Go take some action, which will then breed faith, which is even more important. So good luck, friends.